hashtag Women Power. This movement is started by Sir D.K. Bakshi, who is a global leader, a famous global personality who was recently honored as Women Power. Yes, you heard it right, Women Power. This movement is strongly supported by Dr. Kiran Bedi, a personality who inspires so many. We are present in more than 20 countries. Mr. Bakshi's mission is to unite 100,000 women by end of 2021 and 1 million women by 2024. Hard to find men who think so powerfully about women, and it's all about taking actions to support women. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are at Zoom, which is Facebook Live and Global TV Live today. And today at Hot Seat, I have two powerful women. And let me immediately introduce both of them to you, and they will talk about their journeys today. Let me first of all introduce our speaker for the day, Shilpa Gothi. She is General Manager HR Reliance Entertainment, a life coach, a certified disc analyst from Extended Disc Finland, and A Group certified job analyst. Her passion is handling end-to-end HR functions. Also, a peculiar thing about Shilpa, she has run two Mumbai marathons and one time Satara Hill Marathon, that was a half marathon. Fantastic. So, warm welcome to dear Shilpa from Amchi, Mumbai. Our next speaker of the day is Shikha Gupta. Shikha is head talent acquisition with Winwire Technologies, D&I speaker, mentor, trainer, podcaster, French expert, president, Women Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry for Karnataka HR Council, founding ambassador, Support Saturdays. Welcome, Lady Shikha from Bangalore.
Thank you, Shefali, for this very amazing introduction. Feels good about oneself and feels good to be on your show. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Once again, on behalf of Global Talent Consulting, I welcome you to this talk show of women empowerment. And always, I believe in diversity. So, ladies and gentlemen, today West, South, and North India are talking together, and we are global live. So, people from all across the globe are watching us today. So, starting my question without wasting any time, Shilpa, I come to you, and my first question to you. Me and my audience would love to know Shilpa as a person, how she manages things all around herself. Over to you.
Well, thank you, Shifali. Thank you very much for such an amazing introduction. Good evening and good evening, Shikha. And thank you, Shifali, for the invitation and calling us onto your show. A very good evening to the audience who have taken out time today to join us. Wishing everyone good and great health and mental strength. It's very important, during these times. See, times are really tough and uncertainties all around us. Everyone is jostling with multiple things and situations. Now, I would love to share, and I will be sharing with you how I manage things around. But let me first share what I do manage. So, speaking about my professional life, I'm an HR professional with about human resource professional with about 16 years of experience into talent acquisition, manpower planning, compensation and benefits, performance management, and organizational development. And I have done this, contributed in the HR fraternity for sectors like recruitments, BPO, manufacturing, and I am currently serving media and entertainment. I'm working as General Manager Human Resources for Reliance Entertainment, and I'm responsible for HR strategy and HRBP for my team. I am also a budding coach, and I do take coaching assignments and coach my clients on how to have better lives, over, and this I do over weekends. On personal front, I am mother of two toddlers, aged 2.5 and 3.5. My husband, he has his own business. We are a huge family. He's six brothers and two sisters. He's also an active politician in our area. And during these current COVID times, everyone is contributing to the best. So I am supporting him in a lot of his own initiatives that he's undertaking, like sanitization drives across our ward and area, distribution of food and masks to the needy, also distributing immunity boosting products in and around our area, and lot many things. I also take care of my special needs elder brother, and my mother who reside with us. So yes, I do manage quite a few things. And what I would like to share with all of you is that I am not perfect in managing all of them, but yes, I do manage them quite well and try to bring in a balance. And how do I do it? Well, I do have to stretch myself. Yes, I do have to stretch myself, and I have to, prioritize a lot between my personal and professional life, and do a lot of prioritization within these segments as well. So this is about me and how I'm managing things.
Wow, great to know this, Shilpa, from you. And very rightly, as we women acknowledge ourselves, we very rightly said that I may not be perfect, but I'm managing things well. I'm maintaining a work-life balance. And yes, we can see a lot of responsibilities on your shoulders, managing family, managing small kids, hand holding with husband, taking care of parents, extended family, and of course, work is there. And besides that work, you on weekends, you are stretching yourself, stretching your extra hours in coaching and all. Wow, hats off to you. That's really women power. Shikha, coming to you. So I'm glad that we three S are talking today. So Bakshi sir, you can abbreviate us today when we invite you, Shikha, Shefali, and Shilpa. So Shikha, coming to you, same question. Our audience and myself would like to know you as a person, what's going on around in and you, and how do you manage things?
Shefali, to start off, I think with the pandemic, life has certainly become difficult for all of us. I mean, women are capable of managing a lot, just like Shilpa, you, I mean, I'm also a homemaker, an HR professional, been in the industry for 17 years now, working nonstop across recruitment, OB, HR generalist roles, L&D and stuff like that. So it's been a long journey. When you look back, 17 years is a long journey. Plus, a lot of experience in extensive campus hiring, and I've done that for very many years. So 6 months, I would be on the road, right, hiring for internship, for MBA, for engineering, and balance 6 months I would be home. So yeah, those were difficult times. Plus, I stay with my in-laws. My husband is a techie, a program manager, delivery management kind of a guy. So yeah, that's my small family. But yes, in the pandemic, life has become difficult, Shafali, because, and especially I'm in Karnataka right now, and we have a lockdown, right? So there's absolutely no domestic help available. So managing time between, your office, then I'm associated with a few education institutes, coaching campus kids, young professionals, giving them guidance and stuff like that. So I push all that towards the weekend because that's where you get time. And then, yeah, managing home, managing domestic chores, I think it's become a lot. But the trick is to balance everything. I mean, you know it, you've known me for some time. I've become a night owl, right? So you compromise on sleep because, like Shilpa said, right? You stretch your day, you try to do things around the house, the office, your personal, and some of these experiences are very self-satisfying, right? Coaching people, mentoring people, right? This is the future of our country. These guys are going to become the future leaders if experts like us will not dedicate time in grooming them, in mentoring them. Who else will? So yes, it's been difficult, especially because of the pandemic. I think life was much easier when the entire routine was normal, things were normal, everybody could go out and do their bit. Now the whole family depends on the woman of the house or the man of the house, right? But then yes, it's interesting. This too shall pass, right? There's enough of mental stress in our respective families. These days it's so weird. Whenever you get a phone call, you dread answering that phone call to say whether it's a good news or a bad news, whether somebody is suffering, somebody needs help. I hope somebody needs help and it's not like, somebody has passed away, right? So these are very, very difficult times. Time management and prioritization, though we try so much, has actually gone for a toss because also the woman is expected to manage everything, right? Whether you like it or no. It's this one pivot on which the whole world revolves, right? Home, kids, family, office. So I think all of us are trying to do our best, and we will continue to. I'm waiting to get back to work. I'm waiting for Corona to go, right? All of us to come back to normal routine. I think that is important today.
I
Yeah.
agree, Shikha. I agree, Shikha, with what you said. And, I also agree with that women are self centered, everything revolves around the women. And that is why we have so many shows on women power. We hardly see shows getting conducted on men power.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is one of the reasons because we are multitaskers, we manage so many things, and with a broad smile, I always say.
And also, I totally feel, and I'm sure Shilpa echoes the same, with so much of industry experience that each one of us have, right? It's best to help whoever needs help, whether it is a personal help or whether it is of help within the HR domain, our expertise, from our knowledge, our experience. If anybody can benefit, I think nothing like it. That's how I would put it.
Thank you for sharing this, Shikha. So when I was hearing you both of you spoke about work-life balance. And yes, I feel sometimes people say it is a challenging time, sometimes people say it is a tough time. I say it is different time. Things are different, timings are different. So let's go with the flow. If nothing is in our hands, let's go with the flow. So my next question coming to Shilpa is on work-life balance only. Like you also said, you are doing multitasking, managing so many things, and that too with small kids. I'm sure Mumbai also is same as Delhi. No domestic help, no maids, nothing. How are you managing the work-life balance? If you are having sleepless nights or less sleep, how do you manage yourself? How you get up in the morning? Because before logging in your system, you need to take care of your household chores, you need to take care of your luncheons, you need to take care of your kids, everything has to be taken care of, utensils, everything. So how do you maintain that work-life balance and how do you keep yourself fit?
Absolutely, Shifali. See, before I share how I manage, let's understand why is it important, for the sake of our audience. Now, many of us would have definitely faced situations wherein we have felt like work started to get, most of our life, and when there are employees or when we are very professionally driven and enjoy the work that we are doing, many a times we overlook the boundaries, and slowly and steadily, without even realization, our life starts to become our work. Now, if it happens sometimes, it can be managed, but when too much of our energy continuously goes into work, it will affect and will add up over time. The lack of a work life balance over an extended period of time will definitely lead to burnout. And given the external environment of the current pandemic situation, where mental health, the challenges, the uncertainties are bringing it that additional pressure, which is disrupting a work life balance. And therefore it is very important to have a balance. What I do to bring in balance and harmony in my work life is, firstly, I understand and have accepted my situation. I understand and accept what is valuable and important for me, and I focus on it. So like you rightly said, I have two toddlers, and like I've shared with you earlier. So I realize this, and I accept that I am a young mother, I have kids who need my attention. So say for example, and I also know that I'm working in a senior position in an organization which also needs my equal or sometimes more attention. What I do is I uh, accept and I prioritize. And if I say that today this needs to get done, so say for example, if I have committed myself to completing a project for office, and in between if my toddlers would come and say, mama, no, today you feed us, I might possibly pass that. And I will, and it's also without feeling guilty about it. We women, we feel guilty of ignoring family, relatives, children. But this is how I bring in the balance. So I understand and I acknowledge my situation, I commit to it, and I stick to my commitment. That's number one. I prioritize my time, and I set time for all the important, urgent, and valuable things that I would want to achieve in a particular day. I also understand my peaks and throws, So for example, I am a morning person, and I love to complete all my important strategic tasks that I'm supposed to do in the morning before my kids wake up. So to be little mean, I try to, wake my kids little, because they're still quite young, a little later. And this is also done strategically, so that I get that ample time to finish strategic things in the morning. And then lighter tasks, I distribute throughout the day. And given my current situation and the work from home thing, I'm not getting enough time. I feel that is also very, very important, to have your own time where you either relax or reflect in inner internally, understand, organize, reorganize your work. Currently I'm not getting too much. I just do that sometimes before going to bed, and in my mind continuously plan my next day, and when I get up I relook at my next day again, prioritize in my mind, and start my day like that. uh, and lastly, what I do is I try to be as realistic as possible with respect to expectations from my own self, and in setting expectations from my family and also the organization. So I understand my limitations, I understand my challenges, and I know that I can stretch myself, I do stretch myself, but then I don't want to burn out. So this is up till where I would go. So this, I follow these things, and so far I can safely say that I am in good mental health, and I enjoy my work life and personal life.
Awesome, Shilpa. So, one beautiful line I'll pick up from what you just said: you are not guilty. That is a beautiful thing, because a lot of mothers, who are not able to give time to their kids, and especially when they come, Mama, we want you to feed us today, and we are not able to give them time. That is the biggest challenge, and the hurt which we create for ourselves. And you are not doing that. That's a wonderful thing. Thank you for sharing. Coming to you, Shikha, same thing. You are also staying in a joint family, a lot of things to take care of. In-laws are there. Again, you being at a respectable senior level position, you take care of global workforce. So sometimes it is early morning, it might be early morning meetings, sometimes it must be US timing meetings with US shift. So how do you manage the work-life balance? Because I feel that, in-laws, adults, they have their own limitations. Khana 8 baje chahiye, so they need food at 8 p.m. I mean, similar things. So how do you manage that work-life balance?
Actually, very well said, Shifali. I mean, senior citizens or elders at home, right, are just like kids. They have a set timetable, breakfast, lunch, fruits, evening tea, dinner. So there is a timetable every day. Yeah, half an hour plus minus or 15 minutes plus minus is okay, but yes, that's what they follow. As far as I am concerned, Shifali, there has been no divide between work and home since we started work from home, right? I think life was much more disciplined, organized, and that's my personal opinion. It was much more disciplined, organized, methodical, right, when we were actually going to work. So there is a routine. You have to get up in the morning, get ready, drive to work, come back, manage this piece of domestic stuff, and then get on to my US conference calls, which start at 9:30 in the night, and probably go on till midnight and stuff like that. But now that we are at home, yes, the good thing is the travel time is cut out. There's no commute, so you don't have to go through all that. You get more time at home. But then the expectations of the family members, right, have drastically changed, especially with the woman, right? It's like, TK, boss, you are a leader. You are a great person wherever you are, whatever you're doing. It's a great career life, but then we need your time. We need your attention. You have certain responsibilities towards the house, towards the home, towards us, towards the ecosystem where you're living, the society in large. It cannot be just office, office, office. So, having said that context, yes, it has become difficult, and prioritization is something which I try and do. So, I am a night person. Most of my important presentations or meeting stuff and strategic stuff, I sit and do it in the night because it's peaceful. Everybody is gone to bed. in the silence of the night, you know, there's a famous song by Billy Joel, right? What in the middle of the night I do walking in my dreams, blah blah blah. So I'm that night person because there's nobody to disturb. Nobody's gonna call out for me saying that chikha ye chahiye wo chahiye blah blah blah, nothing. So that's those 3 4 hours are just for me. And then again, like I said, I have become a night owl, so I end up getting up early in the morning because you have to do kitchen and stuff like that. So some prioritization honestly has helped, but not completely helped. And that is why women are stretched. Not only me, I'm sure that's the scenario with every woman who's a working woman. And today's woman is somebody who aspires towards a career, right? There's a difference between needing a job and having a career. So all of us want careers, we want to be independent, we want to contribute in our respective domains, and that is why office takes so much time. So but then prioritization helps to a certain extent. What I do is whenever I get, you know, tired or I get a little frustrated, I listen to one nice, you know, music number, some song, right? 5 minutes, recharge batteries, close my eyes, sit down, go into that trance, and then get back to the laptop. It's something like that. I think that works for me. And yeah, planning for the next day in the night works for me. But then it is something which I've not been able to do very religiously is a physical activity. I have started recently go for a 20 minutes walk in the evening with the mask on, obviously, otherwise the security guys, start uh, shouting at you or giving you feedback. Go for a small walk, take some fresh air, 20 minutes, listen to some music. I think those are the two things that have worked. And yes, very hard prioritization as to what you want to do now. Morning, afternoon, evening, night. Now the day is in 4 buckets, right? And 75% of the bucket, the family needs you that time, right? From morning till evening. After night, it's just you when they're off to bed, they're settled and all that stuff. But yes, I think that's what it is. And I think all of us are enjoying. It's just that, you know, when you don't have a choice, you learn, right? Necessity is the mother of invention. So you try different ways, different options, different avenues to manage work successfully because it's a responsible position. You're driving revenue, you're responsible for some margins, right? You're responsible for certain piece of business at the office. And at home also they have that expectation, ki, you know, she will do this, she will do
Right. I
that.
think Shilpa, Shikha, this recharging batteries is one thing which I'll take from you. Life has to move on. We all have to keep moving and keep going. Recharge yourself, and that beautiful song which was just narrated one line. Like I cook in my kitchen with my mobile in hand. You know, my favorites. I love 60s, 70s songs. So music going on, and I'm cooking, enjoying, refreshed. And then I immediately sit in front of my laptop and I'm busy working. So we have to identify what works for us. How do we keep ourselves energized? How do we need to keep ourselves fresh so that we don't get panic in any situation?
Correct. So
Great,
Shefali,
wonderful.
60s or 70s, right? There's a very inspiring song, and I learned it from my father. It's from one of these Hindi movies which says, "Ruk jana nahi, tu kahin haar ke, na 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 na." So you just keep going, keep going. This too shall pass. These are difficult times. I think women are managing too much, right? I have people in my network who are slowly probably, you know, going into the depression side, anxiety side, because we are managing a lot. But ruk jana nahi, we have to
Correct.
keep moving on. I think
Very
that's
rightly
important.
said. We need to be self-motivated. You being senior leaders, managing so many tasks, so you have to identify out-of-the-box solutions to, first of all, keep yourself motivated and then keep your team motivated, keep progressing, keep moving. Wow, hats off to you. Great. So during the conversation, very interesting conversation we are having, at least I am enjoying with both of you, talking to both of you. We are talking about challenges, we are talking about hard times, we are talking about work-life balance, we are talking about charging our batteries. Wow. So one question comes to my mind. A lot is being talked about resilience these days. We have to be resilient, we have to be empathetic, we have to be compassionate. Do you feel resilience is the need of the hour? And can you showcase some example from your corporate life, maybe? Because we have so many women who must be watching us who are corporate professionals, and they actually need to understand, or maybe when we say hard times going on, how to manage themselves. So, any situation which you remember soon, very recently happened with you, where you were resilient and it helped? So, Shilpa, if you can answer this question first.
Yes, Shifali, certainly. See, resilience is a trait wherein that gives us the ability to bounce back, from stressors, and to bounce back and deliver at a much higher and a better level. Now, if you see everything around us in the pandemic, every one of us is showing some sort of resilience as we are facing and surviving the pandemic continuously every single day, you know. So, I mean, every individual is showing resilience in some form or the other. Now, citing an example from organization, um, one example which is in our media and entertainment industry, and it is very peculiar because now it's been for theaters, it's been almost 18 months where the theaters are not opened. So, how are we surviving? What are we doing? And all the employees, starting from the CEO to the last person who is executing something for you, has shown resilience when they are coming up with various options, to sustain their businesses, like creating content for other platforms, bringing out own content from the systems, selling and syndicating them, identifying more platforms where things where content can be showcased. And also you see a whole bunch of creative platforms coming up, screening content streaming platforms are coming up. These, if you look deeply, all of these things are a result of employees showing sort of resilience, not succumbing to the pressure of the realities and the truths of today, not saying that, oh my god, theaters band ho gaye, ab kya karenge, films hai, kaise release hoga. We have two huge projects which we are holding on, 83 and Suryavanshi, holding on for quite almost a year and 6 months now. And these are big ticket projects, but every single employee in the organization is showing resilience. Also, employees across globe have shown resilience towards salary deferments, pay cuts, and layoffs. It's a trait of resilience where even even when there are salary deferments, you say, okay, in order to save a lot of jobs, let's take us this thing today, and we can get it back later tomorrow. With the so resilience as a trait means uh, bouncing back with even better and at a higher level. And there are, continuously we are hearing so many stories of resilience in and around today. There are so many stories where, in spite of people going through tough situation themselves, have adopted, say, children who have lost their parents to COVID, are feeding hungry people when they themselves have one time meal only, helping people to commute from one place to another when there is a total lockdown, but still going out and supporting, providing oxygen support when somebody putting yourself at risk, providing every and various kind of COVID support and whatnot. I think all these are examples, and all these are people across globe who are showing very high level of the trait of resilience.
I couldn't agree more, Shilpa. Very soft words, and the kind of attitude these days people are showing. They are coming forward and helping people, supporting community. I think we can't ask for more. Coming to you, Shika, what do you say about this?
Shifali, in my organization or in my team, I'll just give you very two simple things. What's happening with us in our function, recruitment function or HR function, right? people's attitude towards each other, right, in these difficult times. Somebody has a parent ailing at home, or some sibling not being okay at home, has so tremendously or drastically changed to say, okay, no worries, you please take time off, and I am going to fill in for you. People are willing to share each other's workload. People are helping this person to emotionally fight the situation out, right? I think that's a classic example where, if one person is suffering, the entire team is standing up, is rising up to the occasion to say, look, one, you don't have to worry about your work. Second, we will help you fight this out, right? I think that's something which is commendable, and hats off to all these guys. Second thing that I can quickly think of is, employees in my organization, like Shilpa mentioned, are actually going out of the way and helping people in difficult times. Either it is with injections or medicines or food or any SOS emergency calls. They are, without bothering about their lives. Everybody is up there just to help each other, I think. And the third thing, our customers. So we all our customers are US based, right? We are a Microsoft partner. Every customer, the projects are every customer is coming back and saying, hey, look, are you guys okay, right? Empathy. Do you need more time? Do you need support to fight it out? Do you think we can rework the timelines? Do you think we can rework the deliverables? I think that is a mark of a true organization, where we say, people first is our core value. That's the core value of Winwire Technologies. So whether it is a customer or a candidate or an employee or a vendor, everybody is rising up to the occasion and saying, look, we are with you in difficult times. We will help you bounce back, right? If there are if we need to rework project timelines, if we need to rework certain things, we are with you, right? I hope your people are fine. What kind of support do you need? So I think that's amazing. And never ever before, I'm sure, the sentiment, the attitude, the relationship, all this was already there, and that's why these clients are with us, and we've been doing business with them for very many years. But it is only in difficult times do you see how people react, how people behave, how they help you come out of such difficult situations. And lastly, the team also has become very sensitive towards, say criticism, towards feedback, right? Earlier people would just retaliate, no, I know it all, right? Now everybody is taking things with a pinch of salt, stepping back, introspecting to say, okay, this is where I stand, and this is what my manager needs me to do, whatever. Yeah. And this is my learning curve, so I have to bounce back. I have to fill those gaps either by upskilling or cross skilling, or bettering my performance, right? So people have, I think, become more uh, sensitive. The situation is like that, and everybody is just there for everyone. I think that is beautiful to see,
I think
including
it is
clients.
a time. It is a time to be human. It is a time to show humanity.
Right.
We have to think from the heart and not from our mind and not from our brain. And this is what I feel Mr. Bakshi is also doing these days. I've been following him at social media. He's been doing so much for COVID relief, bringing in relief to India, helping out people to, uh, move back to the country. He's been doing tremendous work for this COVID relief, and that is what you both have been sharing right away with me. So it is the time of humanity. It is time to come forward, collaborate, leave the religion, leave the caste, and just be humans and do our bits whatever we can. I
Shivani,
think
there is
beautiful share by
Exactly,
both of you.
exactly, exactly. And here's what's resilient about it. Here's where the resilience trait comes. Ignoring or overcoming your own stresses, because COVID is equally for the people who are supporting and showing, being the human first. COVID is equally for them, but they are overcoming that stress. They are overcoming that situation and going forward and contributing and doing their bit, which again becomes an inspiration to others, and others follow. So in a way, this pandemic, if you look at the positive side, is could end up creating a great resilient human race. I mean, a lot of people who will go back and say take this example.
It's like
Correct.
very
I
simple. You know,
agree.
your house is on fire, but the neighbor's house is also on fire. So you're trying to save both the houses. It's not like me first and then I will go and help somebody outside, right? So much of collaboration, bonding, unity. People have come forward in every manner, right? Whether it is within corporates, within societies, households, families. Otherwise, the attitude earlier probably was, oh, first let me save myself, right?
Hmm.
You know, let me first secure my own people. But now, no, anybody who's suffering, who's in pain, who's in need of help, I think everybody is just going on. And they are, yes, such an inspiration. I think we are creating a better world, all of us together.
Indeed,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yes.
Great conversation going on. So, when I was, looking at your profile when we were coming together for this talk show today, you both are great leaders. At respectable positions, senior level, managing so many tasks, managing so many people around, in and around. Uh, so, at times, situation comes in organizations. We commonly say that it is top bottom approach, top down approach. Whatever the top management says, the juniors, the workforce has to follow that. Do you remember any recent incident happening where you learned from your juniors and you were proud to be learning from them and you implemented that maybe in your professional journey or maybe as an organization? Shilpa, if you can answer this question.
Um, yes, Shifali. See, there is this concept which is now quite old, which is reverse mentoring. So, as HR professionals, we definitely, do run reverse mentoring programs. And specifically, I being from media and entertainment, we needed this quite a lot. The youngsters are social media gurus, and we had introduced this reverse mentoring concept in an organization where a lot of seniors learned the functionality and of social media and expanded their social presence. Now every second or third day something new happens on social media. Instagram features keep changing, Zoom features keep changing, keep adding, and the seniors often or many a times take little bit time, while the gang who's always hanging on social are quite pro. So I think I enjoy, and a lot of my seniors colleagues in our organization love to go back to them, and in fact look forward to them telling us ki this is what new is happening, and always learning from them. Personally, I am always learning, and it does not bother me, Shifali, if I'm learning from a senior or a junior. I learn to become better and to serve better. Therefore, it gives me joy to see, um, a junior doing something better, doing something nicely, and me approaching and going and asking them, hey, ye kaise, how did you do it, ye kaise kiya, and then learning and implementing back into the organization. One of my junior colleagues in the HR team gave me a newer perspective on the needs of interns and freshers that we were hiring, and to whom we were rolling out offers. Based on her suggestions, we changed little bit of compensation structure to suit the needs of the interns and the freshers, and added a couple of leaves more here and there. It definitely had a great impact. By we had a better ratio in acceptance of the offers, and we have now made that a policy. Also, juniors, or youngsters rather, I would call juniors as youngsters. These youngsters come with new age thinking process, and that helps us in improving our interactions with the millennials. And specifically for me, I have seen that it has brought in a whole lot of empathy, where I've started understanding the needs and requirements of young mind, and how they think, which is again required in our organization. We being in media and entertainment industry, and a whole lot of our audience is that segment. So we definitely depend from a learning perspective also on the youngsters that we have across board in our organization. Yes, Shifali.
Awesome. Great, Shilpa. So it is good to know that you learned, your management learned, and you have brought into implementation also. The policies have been revised. That's a beautiful thing, I think. So coming to you, Shikha, what do you say about this?
Shifali, as far as you asked, as far as I am concerned, right? Since I have been doing so much of campus hiring all over the country, correct? I have always been with that millennial generation. And they will say, man, ऐसे नहीं ऐसे होता है, वैसे नहीं वैसे होता है. You know that young blood, 90s born, correct? They're ready to conquer the world. So it's very interesting and insightful to hear their perspective, their ideas. Some are good, some are not so good, but at least our young generation is thinking on their feet. I think that's one. Second, learning, whether you learn on the job or you learn from a team member or you learn from anybody, right, for that matter, in the entire ecosystem, or you learn through a training program, you upskill yourself, you cross skill yourself in our day-to-day interactions, right? छोटे छोटे बच्चे लोग कुछ कुछ सिखा जाते हैं. This is how it has to be done, man. This is what the youngsters like today. Say for example, you start doing creatives, right, for any campus recruitment activity. Now over a period of time you realize, say for example, earlier maybe content was extremely important. Today, content is very important, but then the visual appeal of the banner going to the campus or the poster going to the campus, because that is what attracts the youngsters, right? Then that brings their attention. So I think learning from these young kids how to use social media, Shilpa put it so rightly. I am not an Insta or a Twitter person, never been, never used. But with this young generation background, you need to learn how to use an Insta or how to use a Twitter, or what are the new HR practices. Somebody will come and say, this is what Swiggy did, or this is what Reliance did, or this is what somebody else did. You think it works in our scenario? Do you think it will work for our company size? So people are full of ideas. One second thing is, we need to know how to channelize their energies in the right direction, right? Because if you don't implement certain ideas, they can get very put off. Oh, I did so much of homework, I brought this to the table and I was not heard, and stuff like that. So yes, they're full of ideas, you can learn from them, you can decide what to implement, not to implement. But yes, with the millennial generation, it's fun working with them, hiring them. And now once they are hired or you're associated with them, then on the other side you're sitting and mentoring them. This is how the corporate world functions, do's, don'ts, and stuff like that. So there is no age to learn, and you can learn from anybody. I mean, I am happy with these young buds who keep teaching me something or the other. Man, you should put it on Instagram. Okay, what is Instagram in the first place? Right? So
I think
yeah.
it's more of a two-way process. Somewhere the millennials teach us, and somewhere as corporate leaders, as experienced people, we teach them. And if we both are flexible and open enough to learn from each other and bring it into implementation, nothing can
Truly
be better
enriches
than that.
our experience, right? I mean, you only become a better person. You only become a better professional. It doesn't matter where the learning comes from. So there is active learning, and then there is passive learning, right? Actively, you're involved into something. Passive learning could be, I mean, we keep playing a lot of stuff. So there's some music or there's some motivational speech going around on the DVD player or something, or some Hanuman Chalisa, which is on in the house to say, the environment is nice. You can keep learning anywhere. Knowledge is all over, right? So
Absolutely.
Absolutely. To add to Shikha, the intent should be to learn, to accept learning from wherever, and to understand, to realize and accept the fact that youngsters and juniors can also teach, will take us long, long ahead.
no, and also to add to what you're saying, Shilpa, it is very, for anybody for that matter, right? It is so very important to learn, to stay relevant in the market, to beat that competition, especially for the younger generation, more to do so because they have another 20, 30 years in the corporate life to work. Otherwise, you end up becoming redundant. What are the trends? What is the market saying? What is upbeat? What are the different practices? I think learning is so very important for each one of us, right? Otherwise, we'll be living in our archaic world with archaic systems and dunya kahin to kahin chali jati hai. So
Absolutely.
it's very important to be relevant in the market. Yeah, learning is of key.
I think it is so interesting to listen to both of you. The more I'm listening to you, I'm getting to know you. The zeal to talk to you is increasing, and I think we should have another session because here at these shows we are time bound and we have to go by the timings, and the timing is about to get over. But at least last not the least, I would ask one quick question to both of you. You being managing, as you rightly said, in morning we are a house buy, and in after that morning chores we are a corporate professional. So we are multitasking and we are doing everything. So one quick message to women fraternity that you would like to give, and Shikha, I would ask you first. One quick message for women.
Women, you are the power. You have the power to create, you have the power to conquer, you have the power to do anything in life, right? I mean, resilient, independent, working. She's a mother, she's a wife, she's a daughter-in-law, she's a sister, she's a corporate professional, she's a leader, she's everything. And it's only a woman who can play so many roles. So she is the strongest being. She is the power. She is the creator. And she can do what she wants. Just keep moving on. Chalte raho. Don't get dejected. Don't get frustrated. Don't get saturated from life. Corona is short-lived. Pandemic is short-lived. Life is beautiful. Women are beautiful in what they do, the way they behave, the way they carry themselves. And women are the world. They run the universe. That's how I would put it. Yeah.
Wow. So powerful message, so powerful. Shilpa, what do you say? What message will you like to give to women?
I'm impressed as the how in the way Shikha put it for all of us. Yes, indeed, we women are powerful. Indeed, we are strong, and indeed, we are creators. My message to all the women, us, and we inspire each other. First and foremost, believe in ourselves, believe in yourself, love and respect yourself for whatever you are doing, as a mother, wife, sister, or as an economic contributor. Treat yourself well, respect yourself, plan, prioritize your day, keep time for yourself. We deserve it and we need it so that we can then service better. We need to focus on our health, exercise, workout, meditate to stay fit, stay healthy. We should set and manage expectations from us, our own selves first, not be guilty about anything in life. Learn to say no to things that don't matter to us at all. We as women are big contributors in shaping a family, a nation, and indeed the world. We must take good care of ourselves so that we can take care of others. And when with these are uncertain and stressful times outside, we must build and manage a calm and stronger within. And definitely, and like Shika said, like we all know, corona will go, tough times will go, pandemic will go. What will make it a smooth ride in a journey is the strength, the respect, the love that we show and we exhibit for ourselves and for everyone around us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Very beautiful message, strong message for women. Yes, women, you have to be courageous. You have to be united. You have to be strengthened. You have to be powerful. If you are able to do this, if you are able to manage this, there's a beautiful line I was going through. The best protection any woman can have is courage. If we are courageous, we are able to cross any battle, any barricades coming our way, and we will be able to make our way. And yes, this corona has to go. Corona has to go, go, go. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful journey with us. I had my learnings from both of you today. And before closing the session, I would like to invite the man behind this series, behind this show, Mr. DK Bakshi, to say a few words about today's session. Sir, please, I'll just upgrade him. We would love to listen from you. He's there.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
What a fascinating 3S. My God. Shefali, Shilpa, and Shikha. And did you see that all the 3S has got H also with it? SH, SH, SH. And this is so beautiful. All of you are beautiful, along with my Women Power lady from Global Talent, Varsha, who is victorious.
Good evening, sir.
Yes. Good evening. And it is indeed a pleasure to really listen to your thoughts. And this S is very, very powerful. Whether we call it sincerity, strong, spectacular, stability, supremacy, swiftness, sustainability, shining, smiling, sensible, spiritual, and above all, self-esteem. Ladies, you have really made me proud this evening, and I am thankful to Chef Ali, who invited both of you together on this show. And this, whenever Chef Ali has a show, she has always two women with her. Others, whether it's Spain or Anshul or any other country, women, they have normally one. I also have one only on one Saturday now. I don't have 4 Saturdays because 3 Saturdays are gone. Amazing discussions and lot of learning indeed. I would certainly like to really thank you for bringing in a lot of great perspective in your discussions. And as I was hearing and you said about women power, courage, love and respect yourself, trust yourself. And you said you are strongest, you are a creator. Chalte raho, chalte raho. Wow, I love that. Chalte raho, chalte raho. Fascinating. And that song, Ruk Jana Nahi, that's beautiful song. And I keep on singing in my training programs a lot of songs. In case you watch my YouTubes, I am into a lot of singing when we are into romancing with your destiny. And I think a lot of ideas got generated. And talking about Shikha, the night dream girl. So she is doing night working. My God, you need to take control of yourself. Do yogas and pranayams a lot to keep yourself fit. Because as Shilpa also rightly said, that we need to take care of our health. We need to ensure that we are healthy so that we can support others. And you did talk about resilience a lot. And that is what is very, very critical and important at this point of time. And yes, there's no doubt women are power, women power, women power. That's why we call it women power, a global movement. And this movement is now more than 14, 15 months, Varsha?
Yes, sir.
Goda Menuka?
Yes, sir. Last
15
year,
months.
in January 2020 we have started.
20th January 2020, we started. So it's huge. First women power is Dr. Kiran Bedi, my mentor, and with whom I work on various leadership programs. And she's our first women power, and followed by women around the world, at least 20 countries to spread. And we have, 1 million women target by 2021. And 2024, but I think we have already covered 600 million, 700,000 people around the world already. This is going great. And in fact, we have a lot of things happening around the world in these 20 countries, and people are really excited and adding value to all this. And I especially am very, very thankful you could come out with reverse mentoring. That is something very beautiful. 2015, I started reverse mentoring, and these two girls laughed at me, Yong in Thailand and Kanak in Indian office and Yong in Thai office. So both these girls, I told Yong early morning, get, Kanak in India on Skype and let's talk about reverse mentoring. He said, what is that, Hundike? I said, let me make you to understand. And we started reverse mentoring in 2015. And they added a lot of value to me. And the girl you are seeing here, Varsha, and Varsha is again my reverse mentor. And I can say that February 2020, though we have been working together for 3 years, I have been spending a lot of time in India. So she has been working very closely to me. And finally, in February 2020, she started mentoring me. That's what you see me today on this show. I have never been on this till February, till January, February 2020. I was always man in action on the, face to face. But she made me to learn a lot. So she is again, a reverse mentor who has made me to be good on the social media. A lot of good thoughts have come out, and Chef Ali is always profound member of my Women Power team around the world. She is leading the Noida chapter, and thank you very much, Chef Ali, for continuously and consistently working on this concept and making sure that we are there as putting things together. Milani from Spain is already saying hello. She is already watching you. She is our chapter in charge in Spain. So, Shikha, Shilpa, Chef Ali, and Varsha. I don't know. I have no words. I'm speechless. I'm really speechless. While I watched your show, some of very good ideas, because as a woman, you have many sacrifices to make, managing between families, corporate world, communities, and keep on adding. And there's no doubt about that. Women is power. There's nothing equal to women power. That is the reason this concept got built up. I think December 2019, we built up this concept between me and Varsha for the United Nations UN Women. And finally, since we could not do anything face to face, then we started on this. I am extremely happy to hear thoughts of Shilpa Shikha, and I have no words to express my gratitude. And I would request, I have sent both of you the invite to be part of this moment. I would request both of you to be equally responsible to drive this movement forward. It is not only today's talk. You need to contribute now. You need to get into now. You need to support us. You need to take it forward. You need to share with more women. You need to, once the YouTube is made, you will get it on your social media, share with people, and you need to tell them to come forward. You need to get more and more people involved. And Shikha is based where? You are in Bangalore, is it?
Right.
And Shilpa is in Mumbai. You never know when the sky opens up, things are better. We are going through one of the most difficult times right now. We will be doing face-to-face shows in the cities around the country as well as globally. So you need to get involved. You need to give me a commitment today that you will get involved into this hashtag Women Power a Global Movement and drive it and make other women part of it. The more and more women around the world, irrespective of caste, creed, gender, and nationality, and religion, and color you get, I would be very happy. You see how beautiful the screen looks like? All of us with that background, so powerful, so beautiful. And somebody talked about Hanuman Chalisa. Yes, we are doing this global show on Tuesday evening, 5:30 IST. And this is not going to be a talk. This is going to be a very clear, what do you call it, show in terms of,
Prayers.
prayers. It's not a talk. And she has already blocked everything. I think there are hardly any seats available now to come on the bigger screen. I think how many you have already blocked, Varshaji?
Sir, already 96 is closed. Only 4 seats available.
Only 4 seats available for 100 to be on the big screen.
Varsha, please enroll me.
Sorry?
Varsha, please enroll me for the event.
Yeah, so you have to be
Sure,
on the
sure.
big screen, Hanuman Chalisa on Tuesday evening, and
Yes.
we will pray together and let's get going, let's get growing, let's get glowing, going, growing, and glowing. On behalf of Global Talent and on behalf of hashtag Women Power a Global Movement, I would like to thank Shilpa, Shikha for this wonderful discussion this evening, and thank Chef Ali for her continuous support to ensure this is done. And last but not the least, thank my women power in global talent, Noida, India, Varsha, to consistently keep motivating and driving it. Because as you say, everybody has challenges. I had 7 deaths in my close family relations last 1 month. But then I get remotivated and Varsha keeps the fire on and I am back into action after a lot of deep pain in my heart. Great to see you, Shilpa ji, and great to see you, Shikha ji. Amazing, amazing discussions.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very much for the opportunity. I think it was an absolute pleasure getting to know Shefali and Shilpa better. And more to do so, I think getting associated with women power, when women are so strong, so powerful, and they can turn the world in the direction they want, I think it makes sense for all of us to join hands, to support you in this global movement, and walk with you step by step, every step. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on this show.
Thank you. Thank you. Lovely knowing you, Shifali, Varsha, and Mr. Bakshi, and definitely very enthused to know about the moment and excited. And like Shika said, of course, definitely would like to extend all the possible support that we can to support you in this global initiative.
Absolutely.
Beautiful statements, as beautiful as you are, both of you, and Varsha and Shefali. Women are beautiful in terms of compassion, care, concern, and character. And I feel honored and privileged to have such powerful women in this women power movement around the world. Thank you very much. And thanks a ton. Let's keep the fire on. Let's look at those places where women do not have that kind of empowerment, tough and difficult countries, Afghanistan and Saudi Arabia and many places, and even in India, some of the places. So our role is quite huge and quite large. This is an unending process. But at the same time, I think lot, as Chef Ali was saying, lot has been, there's no program on manpower. There's only program on women power these days, Chef Ali was saying. Yeah, I think it needs further, reinforcement. Tuck, 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 every day, tuck, 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 every day, tuck, 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 every day, tuck, 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 every day. Then you keep doing it every day, it gets into order. So I think we will soon achieve that gender equality and making women to be women are better than men in any case. There's no doubt about it. But then giving that respect, regard to women is very important at a family level, at a corporate level, at a community level, at a nation level, and at the global level. My role in this entire process is to ensure this. That is the legacy I would like to create and move forward towards the next world. But this movement of women power remains continuous because this is an unending process. Even in a Western world where we talk about very great things happening, even there are still challenges so far as women are concerned. Every aspect. So it's not that we say in Canada or UK or US or Germany, women will be this. I think everywhere, in any environment, in any culture, there are challenges. How to overcome that challenges? People like you, women power like you, will make a difference to many women. These stories, what we are doing these days, every Saturday is storytelling. This storytelling, you should actually, Varsha, share with them the PowerPoint vision, mission, values, roadmap of this women power concept. So once Shefali gives you details and send them the presentation, full presentation of the roadmap, let them understand it, let them come back. Maybe they can add some value. And so I got more mentors now. Shefali, thank you. I got more mentors now. I got Shilpa as well as Shikha also.
Yes, sir.
And today is Saturday. You all S's on Saturday. मैं बीच में devil और ये victory बीच में है. All of you are Saturdays and 3 S's. Okay, wish you great health and great harmony and prosperity, peace. And these days will also pass. We will, and we will conquer hope. And we will be again back where we will hug each other. But right now is an e-hug. So I am giving you an e-hug to all of you. And by grace of God, when we are back to normal, we hug each other and we say we are there for a cause of making women power strong around the world. Thank you very much and wish you all the best and great good luck to your families, to your organization, to people around you. Thanks a ton.
Thank you.
Thank you
Mr.
so much,
Bakshi.
all of you, for joining. And have a great good evening and have a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to give a big round of applause to all of you. Indeed, pleasure to know you, Shikha and Shilpa.
Same here.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Same here, Mr. Bakshi.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Varsha.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
thank you.